Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Missouri School Boards Association's Board Report for the month of August. We thank you for the opportunity to share some news and information during a few minutes of your board meeting. We begin with a look at the 2019 Safe Schools and Colleges Conference held last month in Springfield. One of the speakers at the event was Special Advisor to the Federal Commission on School Safety, Tom Wheeler. He said the report from that commission emphasized mental health support for students as a key to keeping our schools as safe and secure as possible.
I think what you'll see in the report is it discusses using Medicaid money to fund school counselors. All right, and Secretary Azar was very clear that they're going to take steps to allow that. More so from funding, it was very clear that the integration of mental health services between providers, schools, law enforcement, the communication of that information is going to take place.
Another featured speaker at the conference was national school safety expert Susan Payne, the founder of the Safe to Tell Prevention Framework. She said the code of silence among students and adults is a major barrier to school leaders and law enforcement in efforts to prevent tragedies.
We know from a research perspective that through the code of silence, our communities can become very dangerous. If we don't get people to speak up about concerns that are happening in the community, we as law enforcement can't respond, we can't prevent, we can't intervene early, we can't solve cases. It's been an issue, it's not new, but it does impact us in schools today and with social media.
She also emphasized the importance of culture and climate in providing a safe learning environment for students. The Safe Schools and Colleges Conference is an annual event sponsored by the Missouri School Boards Association's Center for Education Safety, the only statewide school safety organization in Missouri. The event featured numerous concurrent sessions on school safety issues and brought together school leaders, law enforcement officials, mental health providers, and many others. As of August 1st, more than 90,000 children in Missouri have lost their health insurance coverage through MoHealthNet, Missouri's Medicaid program. In some cases, that happened because applications for the renewal of coverage were sent to the wrong addresses. Many families are not even aware their coverage has been terminated. Molly Ticknor is the executive director of the Show Me School-Based Health Alliance, and she says the situation matters a lot to schools.
So we do know that schools utilize Medicaid for a lot of different resources, specifically to provide healthcare services, potentially child well visits, as well as flu vaccinations or the vaccinations required to have your child enrolled in school, as well as we know that a lot of services that are provided specifically to our special ed children are Medicaid billable. So Medicaid revenue is really big for our school districts in order to help support our students.
She adds there are some things schools can do to help parents reinstate dropped coverage or to get initial coverage.
One is to review the school nurses are reviewing the lists of all their students that have chronic health conditions, because those are our kind of immediate kids that we know are going to be accessing healthcare services. So reviewing that list. Looking online on the Department of Social Service website to see if the student has health care. That's something that anyone can do. I can go on that website and type in the child's name or their date of birth, and I can find out, do they have current coverage? And then I can help the families navigate getting their Medicaid back if they are dropped.
Ticknor adds it's critical that schools help make families aware of the issue of dropped Medicaid coverage as soon as possible. The Department of Social Services has staff available to attend back-to-school events and to assist families in your school district. For more information on this Medicaid coverage crisis, you can also contact the Show Me School-Based Health Alliance at 800-807-8494. Governor Parson has signed into law House Bill 604, a bill containing numerous provisions related to K-12 education, including one that requires newly elected or appointed school board members who are trained after August 28th to receive 18.5 hours of training, an increase of 2.5 hours from the previous requirement. The additional time must focus on identifying signs of sexual abuse in children and the danger signals of potentially abusive relationships between children and adults. Beginning next month, the MSBA will provide the additional 2.5 hours in CBM Essential training for new board members. In addition, all school board members must receive 1 hour of refresher training on an annual basis once the initial training is completed. That training will include concepts taught in the initial training, including the prevention of sexual abuse of children. MSBA will offer various opportunities to meet this requirement that will include online training, a classroom session in conjunction with the MSBA annual conference in September, and others throughout the year. Details will be provided in upcoming MSBA communications. By the way, registration is now open for the 2019 MSBA Annual Conference to be held September 26th through the 29th at the Lake of the Ozarks. Registration information is available on the MSBA website. Also, be sure your school board is represented at the MSBA Fall Delegate Assembly to be held on Friday, September 27th during the annual conference. This Delegate Assembly will be considering approval of MSBA's Advocacy Positions document that will form the basis of MSBA's lobbying efforts during the 2020 session of the Missouri General Assembly. Delegates do not have to be registered for the annual conference in order to participate in the Delegate Assembly, and if your board's designated delegate cannot attend, you can send another board member to represent your board at this important meeting. That's it for this month's edition of the MSBA Board Report. Thanks for allowing us to have some time at your board meeting. Have a great beginning to your school year, and so long from Columbia.